Now, right off the bat, I want to say that David Blaine is a god amongst men. If he was in front of me right now, I do dirty, disgusting things to his body. However, I can disagree with him. And I will in this particular video where I go over his take on the two-card Monty. Now, I hate to bore you with magic virginity on history, but the original version of this trick is called Be Honest, What Is It by Eddie Fector. However, that's not the exact same trick that David Blaine performed. He performed a variation, and according to this post that I saw on Reddit by Gigantic, allegedly it was based on Tom Ogden's subtle switch, and then Paul Gertner had an effect on it. So really, it's just a mishmash of a lot of different things.
You know the guys that do three-card Monty, right?
Right.
All right, this is that game for you right now.
Not for me, Brian.
No money. This is just pretend. Instead of three cards, you hold your fingers like this, so hold your fingers like this. Look, watch. This card, right? Remember diamonds. Forget ace, just diamonds. Hold it parallel. What card do you have?
What?
What card is that?
Can I look at it?
Yeah, but name it. Name it. What is it?
Ace of diamonds.
Diamonds, just diamonds. Look, show it to them, make sure it's all right.
Bingo,
all right,
bango.
show it to them too.
Bingo, bango.
Bingo, bango. Cool, man. Hold it like this, look. Lower, watch. This one, same thing. Just remember hearts. Forget ace, just hearts.
Right.
Watch this switch, ready? See, I switched it. Look, I'll do it again. See it switch back. Just switch twice so quick you didn't see it.
Get up off my shoe, homie.
Sorry.
Not switch.
Yeah, switch twice. Look, I'll do it so you can see it. Look, here's the move. See how the borders line up?
Don't put it on the bottom.
No, look, I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you right now. That's how I do it. Hold it tight, though, to make it impossible now, because you know the move. I have diamonds, ready?
Right.
Without looking at it, what would you bet on, hearts or diamonds?
You ain't got no money.
All right, but pretend bet. Would you bet hearts here or hearts here? Or could I impress you if the heart was on top, diamond was on bottom?
The heart's on top because you had the heart.
Turn your hand over.
Nope.
Go ahead, turn your hand over.
This was the shit back in the day. I remember when I was first learning magic, everybody and their moms not only had little David Blaine's mustache and little beard combo, but they performed this exact same variation of the two-card Monty. And honestly, looking back on it now, I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm really not. And we have the effect of you showing, or in this case, David Blaine, showing the participant how to do a switch. And in this case, the switch is this weird, fast, crazy move. But to me, at least in this performance, it doesn't seem like it's clear to this participant what's actually taking place because he's very defensive throughout. Of course, the ending justifies the process because the reaction that he got essentially made him a millionaire. However, I never found this effect to be as clear to audiences, especially with the character that David Blaine is trying to portray. Here is another performance of a two-card Monty where he does it for George W. Bush.
Here's the move, and I'm going to teach it to you as I do it. See how I switch just like that? See how I do that switch? Yeah. Hold it tight so I can't, good, like that. Now I have the club, hold on. Without looking, what would you bet on? If you were to guess without looking, would you bet the club was on the top or bottom?
The club was on the top.
Would you be impressed if the club was on bottom, spade was on top? Because you were holding tight the whole time when it was around.
Yeah, that would be very impressive.
See, but with those guys, they couldn't even remember where the club or spade was, so I had to come up with a new way to get them.
Yeah.
That's why I came up with this. Just turn it.
Now, this clip starts a little bit late, but you could see and infer that he was adding a little bit of story to the trick, but essentially it remains the same. In this case, you're displaying a switch, this super sleight of hand move to a participant, and at the end, you end up duping them when it turns out that both cards were switched for two cards that are completely different. Now, on the PigCake Magic Academy, the home of over 1,500 videos going over card stuff, coin stuff, everything you need to become the best magician you could possibly be, offer the low price of a single White Claw a month, which is $5. I talk often about how less is more when it comes to magic. However, in this particular scenario, I do think that in order to benefit this effect or improve it, you would actually need a first establishing phase because you are getting into the switch right off the bat, and I think it's too aggressive for most participants. They're not really understanding. So what you would need in this particular case is an initial introductory phase that gets them established to the concept of what a switch is, and then you burn them with this. So actually do what David Blaine is saying. Switch, in this case, the clubs for the spade. And then in the second part of the routine, you do this, where you dupe them and you try to reel them in and say, oh, I'm going to show you exactly how I do it, but you get them with the twist where both cards end up being switched. Now, it might not necessarily be the same, but I want you to look at this variation by David Williamson so you kind of get the understanding of what I'm talking about.
So here we go. Hold it very gently right there. Without looking, which one is in your hand, Amanda, without looking? The ace of spades, the black ace. Let's do that again because I went too fast. Have another drink. That'll help. Okay, here we go. Ace of hearts, ace of spades.
Okay.
You're going to get it this time, I know, because you see what's coming. Ace of hearts is in your hand. No doubt about it.
Yes.
You're positive. You would put money on it.
Maybe.
Huh?
Yes.
You're not certain. You can check if you're not sure.
99%.
You can.
Yes.
Well, the 1% there. It is the ace of hearts. Without looking, tell me which one is in your. See, you're holding it hard now. You have the death grip. Don't tell me what's in your hand. I have to tell you something. This has all been a red herring. I told you I was going to give you a memory test, and guess what? I am. Here's the test. I don't know if you remember this, but before we began, I put 2 cards in my pocket. Do you remember me taking 2 cards out? Oh, you do remember. Most people fail the memory test. You surprised me. Because you failed also. That was the aces I put in my pocket. The jokers were here the whole time. You better drink up.
I better.
This video also starts a little bit late, but you get to see exactly what I'm talking about. We have an establishing phase. We have a phase where the participant is introduced to what a switch is, and in this case, he actually generally switches that ace of clubs for the ace of spades, so that becomes a trick. Then afterwards, he dupes them, much like David Blaine did, by switching those 2 cards for 2 different cards. Now, in David Williamson's variation, he established those jokers in the very beginning, and then it becomes a nice little switch, a nice little transposition at the end. However, it still gets the participant to understand what you are doing. Tommy Wonder said this best: if you are going to do a parody of something, you have to establish the concept first. And the concept of a switch has to be established from the very beginning. If you just jump into it, there's going to be a little bit of confusion. And then that is why that guy in the beginning video with David Blaine was a little bit confused. Now, again, I'm no one to say, hey, dude, you're doing it wrong. Hey, man, that's the wrong way of doing it. That guy's a multimillionaire, and I'm out here a dozenaire, barely. Which is why I shill the PigCake Magic Academy, and also why I'm telling you to get my playing cards that are available down below. Interestingly enough, this is a very heavy sleight of hand trick. You have to do a triple lift at some point. You're doing a top change, which is a very difficult move to pull off. And at least 3 times in my life, whenever I've been shown a trick by a layperson, they busted this out. Now, they did the world's worst top change and whatever you could even call a triple lift that they did, but they still did this. And this happened 3 separate times in my life where a layperson said, oh, I know a trick, and they busted this out. If you are going to do the classic David Blaine variation of the trick, make sure to establish from the very beginning the concept of a switch. Tell the participant that you are going to show them a switch. Now, even if you don't decide to do a phase where you are introducing a concept and you're just saying it out loud, tell them from the very beginning very clearly that this is going to be an example of somebody cheating you, of how they would cheat you. And then you get it into showing the move, you do the little fake switch like David Blaine does in a performance, and then you get off into the revelation. So it has to be very, very clear. But I recommend something like Dr. Daly's last trick, something to that effect, where in the first phase, right before you get into that last revelation, you show them that you could switch the ace of spades for the ace of clubs. Then you show them how you did it, supposedly, with this fake rapid switch, and then you kill them at the end by changing it to queens or jokers or something appropriate for Pride Month.
I see you again, when 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 I see you again.